This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good Monday morning, everyone. Glad to have you with us on this Memorial Day. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Ray Collins has the day off today. Let's check in with meteorologist John Scalzi. And John, I got a little sunburn on my forehead this weekend. It was hot out there.
Yeah, it was hot and the UV index was high, and that's the same thing it's going to be today. A lot of folks will be at the beach today. Of course, a lot of folks will be attending parades and other remembrances and memorials. And I just got to tell you, it's a good day to get a sunburn if you're not wearing a sunscreen, because we have this big ridge of high pressure sitting over us. It's going to bring us a really warm afternoon, and it's also going to bring us a very, very sunny afternoon. Taking a look at the forecast maps, you can see not much in the way of any kind of rain showers across the region. Don't expect that today. It's going to be a dry one. A little bit of cloud cover back to the west may bring occasionally a high-level cloud, but not a drop of that liquid stuff will fall from the sky today. Daytime highs near the 90-degree mark. Yep, it's going to be another hot one, Jacqueline.
All right, thank you so much, John. Let's take a look at Suncoast traffic this morning. Looks like State Road 70 seeing a little bit of congestion as you head west past 301. Other than that, I-75 looking clear as we head into Sarasota. A little bit of slowdown on I-75 as you're getting around Clark Road. There's some congestion there as well, getting on and off the freeway. As we head into South County, pretty quiet. No accidents across the Suncoast at 5:01 this morning. Topping our news, it's Memorial Day and ceremonies are scheduled across the Suncoast to honor our veterans. In Venice, hundreds of people are expected to gather today for a ceremony at Patriots Park. The veterans of Foreign War Post 8118 will sponsor today's ceremony. Several veterans organizations are expected to attend. That ceremony begins at 10 a.m. and is open to the public. Meanwhile, the Sarasota Concert Band also taking time today to honor those who served in the military. The band will host a concert at Philippi State Park on South Tamiami Trail in Sarasota. That concert will include vocalists, a keynote speaker from the armed forces, a color guard, and Civil War reenactment actors. Food and beverages will also be available for sale, or you can bring your own. Admission is $5 for adults, and kids 16 and under are free. Also, a special tribute today in downtown Sarasota during the annual Memorial Day Parade. This year marks the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Midway. Organizers will recognize veterans who were a part of the naval battle back in 1942 during today's parade. It'll be led by the color guard from the Sarasota Sheriff's Office, police and fire departments. Veterans from the VFW, National Guard, Vet Center, and other organizations will also participate in the parade. That starts at 10 o'clock this morning and goes from Osprey Avenue to Main Street, where there will be a ceremony at 11 a.m. And due to today's parade, drivers should take notice of several road closures across Sarasota. Gulfstream Avenue will be closed from Coconut to McCanch Square beginning at 6 a.m. for the Memorial Day Parade. And starting at 8 a.m., Main Street will be closed from Lynx Avenue to Gulfstream. Both Lynx and Osprey Avenues will be closed from First Street to Ringling Boulevard. And just a warning, vehicles parked on any of the closed roads will be towed. The parade starts at 10 o'clock and the roads will reopen at 12:30. There's also some office closures to keep in mind today. All government offices in both Manatee and Sarasota counties will be closed. Sarasota and Manatee County area transit will not be running bus services today. However, the ever-popular Siesta Key trolley will continue to operate. Recreation centers, libraries, and the Department of Health will also be closed. In Sarasota County, trash collection will operate on a normal schedule today, while services in Manatee County will be pushed back. In honor of Memorial Day, Governor Rick Scott is directing that all national and state flags in Florida be lowered to half-staff from sunrise until noon today. He has also asked for a moment of silence to be held at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Scott says we should express our sympathy and gratitude for families who have lost loved ones and pay tribute to those who gave their lives to serve. And as a reminder, AAA's Tow to Go program is still available today. The call-in service will transport anyone in their vehicle to a safe location if they feel they're too intoxicated to drive. The rides will be available throughout the state until Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Hundreds of families came together this weekend to remember those killed protecting our freedom. As ABC 7's Erica Jackson tells us, many families were skipping barbecues to honor American heroes at the 8th annual Memorial Day service at the Sarasota National Cemetery.
Whether it was through a combat death or a disease or an accident, it doesn't matter. Once they signed to serve, they were ready to give all.
Memorial Day isn't quite a holiday for Roberta Brockway. Her 24-year-old son, U.S. Army Captain Christopher Brockway, gave the ultimate sacrifice for his country in July 2011.
He was actually in the Air Force first, tried civilian life and said it wasn't working, so he wanted to be in the military. He wanted to serve his country, and he was proud to do so.
Brockway is considered a Gold Star mother and keeps her son's memory alive by participating in services like the one at Sarasota National Cemetery and nearby. A World War II veteran does the same.
I think we've got to remember these people. If we don't, it's all for nothing.
96-year-old Navy vet Roger Quinsonberry is one of the lucky ones. He survived days at sea during the Great Atlantic Hurricane, but his two college roommates were killed in the line of duty.
They're both heroes. They both died. I attend all memorial services. I think about them a lot.
But there's no amount of gratitude, not enough thanks that we can give veterans who have served, but particularly on Memorial Day for those who have fallen.
For Advisory Committee Chairperson Renee Gilmore, Memorial Day is a time of reflection meant to honor the fallen soldiers around the world, including the 15,000 buried at the Sarasota National Cemetery.
The whole community can come and pay honor to people who have fallen, people who have given their service. It's a big thing.
Memorial Day events continue on Monday with a ceremony at Patriots Park in Venice and a parade in downtown Sarasota. Reporting from Sarasota National Cemetery, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
In Lakewood Ranch, the Gardeners Out East Garden Club have dedicated a new memorial to veterans at the Lakewood Ranch Town Hall. The Blue Star Memorial honors local women and men who have served in the armed services. The Blue Star became an icon in World War II, appearing on flags and banners to symbolize someone who was away at war.
We had an entire generation of soldiers come home who were not respected for what they did for their country. And finally, we're waking up to the fact that the military members are actually doing very good for our country. They're helping preserve our freedom. And these kinds of memorials help us remember those who served our country.
The Blue Star Memorial Program started in 1944 in New Jersey. Since then, the National Garden Club has helped create memorials along highways and at significant buildings across the country. Also in Lakewood Ranch, thousands lined Main Street for the 2017 Tribute to Heroes Parade. The annual event featured bikes and floats decorated for Memorial Day. Proceeds from that event go to the Minnesota Operations Troop Support, as well as other causes aimed at helping our service members and veterans. And what a great way to memorialize Memorial Day and honor those who have given the ultimate sacrifice.
Absolutely right. You know, one thing I wanted to say, though, is there will be a lot of people out there in uniforms today.
Yes.
It is going to be hot. You know, stay hydrated today by all means. We're looking at heat indexes that are going to be pretty close to 100 today. So,
wow.
Yeah, take it easy. We're looking at some otherwise very nice weather. Talk about it in a sec.
All right. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, one veteran's mission to show his appreciation and support for his brothers in arms. We'll take a look at what inspired him to take his 2,000-mile journey. And coming up later in the hour, new arrests following last Monday's suicide bombing in Manchester that killed 22 people. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And Because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
The kitchen is where life happens. Minnesota Flooring now offers a wide variety of beautiful quality craft-made cabinetry to make sure the heart of your home reflects your style. Visit us today.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
We are looking at air temperatures that are steamy outside already at 75 degrees. We have a dew point value at 71. We will be in the 70 degree or better dew points all throughout the afternoon. Now, the combination of these warm dew points, in other words, the amount of moisture in the air, and the very warm temperatures expected by afternoon with all the sunshine we're going to get and a general wind that'll be fairly light, north-northwest at about 5. Expect to have feels-like temperatures. In other words, the ability of your body to regulate its temperature is in large degree determined by its ability to evaporate sweat. And if you have a lot of moisture in the air, that ability is reduced. And so a temperature of 75 or of say 90 degrees might feel closer to a temperature of 97, 98, 99 degrees. And that's where we're headed this afternoon. Feels like temperatures pretty close to the 100-degree mark. So do take it easy out of doors. Also, the UV index will be high, meaning that it won't take much time for fair-skinned folk to burn. And all of us need to be aware of that with sunscreen to prevent sun damage, because that could happen today as well in as little as 10 minutes for some folks. 72 degrees in Wauchula, 72 in Arcadia, Mayaca at 73, so is Parrish, Bradenton at 74, Lakewood Ranch the same, ditto in Northport. Temperatures along the coastline a little bit warmer because of the temperatures of the Gulf waters, 78 degrees Longboat, 76 in Inglewood and in Venice. Nothing in the way of any rain showers right now. There are not going to be rain showers today. That's the good news. There's going to be a lot of outdoor celebrating, I'm sure. There's big storms back to the west, though, and the deep south will see some impact from these storms from New Orleans down through coastal Texas. Also, the Atlanta airport later on today may see a storm or two in the vicinity of that airport, causing airport delays. But for us here in Florida, right here is a huge big ridge of high pressure that is providing us with sunny skies and little chance of rainfall. Sinking dome of air that's kind of a compressional effect that's going to occur with our atmosphere today. And with that dome of high pressure and that compressed air at the surface, we get a very warm temperature, and that's where we're headed. The sea breezes will be around, but they'll be fairly shallow and won't be very productive. Areas of low pressure right along a frontal boundary to the north of us and really don't head too far south. They basically just stall out right where they are. So that ridge of high pressure continues to provide us with a wind flow that is generally out of the northwest. Now, as we head into tomorrow, and particularly into midweek, we'll watch that high move out into the Atlantic. And when that happens, our winds switch around to the south. We get even more humidity our way. And it also will provide a collision zone for our sea breeze and a general southwesterly wind in inland areas. So that'll give us better chances of rain by midweek. Sunny and hot, dry for several days, calmer winds. So here's your forecast. Looks pretty good, actually. We'll look for a daytime high that tops out warm, and the same thing true tomorrow. And then as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, and particularly Friday and Saturday and Sunday, we'll have better rain chances and slightly cooler temperatures because of those afternoon showers. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Let's take a look at traffic this morning. Looks like State Road 70 heading eastbound towards I-75, seeing an increase in traffic. Other than that, Manistee County looking good. As we head into Sarasota County, pretty quiet throughout that area as well. Not a whole lot of people out on the roadways. And South County looking good at 516 on your Monday morning. A 2,300-mile journey across the country for a Vietnam vet whose mission is to honor his fellow service members this Memorial Day. Here's ABC's Tom Lamas.
Retired soldier Jim Krigler is on a new mission 45 years after getting out of Vietnam alive.
You know, the horrors of war, they never leave you.
Especially for Gold Star families.
It's a family that has lost a loved one in combat and service to their country, protecting our freedoms.
So here he is on a 2,300-mile journey down the Mississippi River from Minnesota to Louisiana, presenting Gold Star families with gold stars.
I was flying with 129th Assault Helicopter Company with my roommate, First Lieutenant Thomas Shaw, and believe me, all hell broke loose in early April.
His roommate killed in action, shot down one day after the two young men made this pact.
If one of us was killed in combat, that the other one would do their best to be the burial escort officer and comfort the family.
The trip now taking him right back to that family he comforted decades ago.
Good to see you, sir. You too. Thank you for coming.
He's become like a brother to us, and Tom lives through him.
A mission of gratitude, but also a way for Jim to make peace with the past.
I'll be honest with you, I pray a lot on the river.
And just like that, Jim heads back into the water, paddling the mighty Mississippi with clarity and purpose.
If you could see the faces of these families and see the honor that they feel they've been given, you'd know why I'm so passionate.
If you want to find out more about Jim and his canoeing trip, you can go to our website, mysuncoast.com, for more information. In Washington, hundreds of volunteers spent their Sunday at Arlington National Cemetery. One by one, they read the names of fallen heroes out loud and placed a rose on their graves. The volunteers came from across the country to pay tribute to our troops.
We're thankful for what they've done and their families and sacrificing for us and our nation. They not only protect us, they protect the world.
That tradition started in 2011. This year, 160,000 roses are being placed on graves, and next year, organizers hope to have enough roses to cover the entire cemetery. Meanwhile, a wreath-laying ceremony is planned for today at the cemetery to mark the 100th birthday of President John F. Kennedy. The ceremony will be held at his gravesite. The United States Postal Service plans to commemorate Kennedy's centennial with a new dedication of a new postage stamp in Brookline, Massachusetts, where the late president was born on May 29, 1917. The John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum will also hold a birthday celebration that includes a flyover from the U.S. Navy. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, your smartphone is about to get a lot smarter. What new technology Apple is now testing out for future phones. And coming up at 5:30, President Trump is back in Washington after his first international trip while in office. But his alleged White House scandals keep building. Stay with us. We'll have the updates on that story after this.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-962-4112. That's 1-800-962-4112. Call now, 1-800-962-4112. For a free brochure, call 1-800-962-4112.
Welcome back, 5:21 on this Memorial Day Monday, and new technology from Apple could soon bring facial recognition and longer battery life to your iPhone. ABC's Diane Macedo and Kenneth Gibson have the details.
In today's Tech Bites, bringing artificial intelligence to your iPhone.
Apple is testing a high-tech microchip that will bring facial and voice recognition to the iPhone, as well as a keyboard that predicts your texts. Reports say it will also extend battery life. And Google is going even bigger.
The company's co-founder is revealing plans to build the world's largest aircraft. It'll be a blimp similar to this, the Airlander, which is currently the world's largest aircraft at 300 feet. Google's blimp would be more than 600 feet long.
And this is how you make an entrance. Check out the arrival of the game ball for the Portuguese soccer final.
A guy on a drone. Looks all Green Goblin, wouldn't you say? Swooping in onto the field. He floated about 30 feet off the ground and then landed right there, midfield, handing the ball to the ref.
That's how I'm going to start commuting to work.
Yeah, nice. Take that. Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Simparica.
It's wild out there, but now you can let your dogs out. Just protect them with Simparica, the monthly chew that virtually wipes out fleas and ticks. Studies showed that at the end of the month, Simparica killed more ticks in less time than both Frontline and NexGard. Simparica may cause abnormal neurologic signs, such as tremors, unsteadiness, and/or seizures. The most frequently reported adverse reactions were vomiting and diarrhea. So get Simparica for protection that goes on and on.
Can you actually love wearing powerful sunscreen? Yes. Neutrogena Ultra Sheer. No other sunscreen works better or feels so good. Clinically proven Helioplex provides unbeatable UVA/UVB protection to help prevent early skin aging and skin cancer. All with a clean, light feel. For unbeatable protection, it's the one. The best for your skin. Ultra Sheer. Neutrogena. See what's possible.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills. Wow! Stop stains and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your Couch Coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
Coming up on Good Morning Suncoast, President Trump returns to the U.S. after his first international trip, but the Russia investigation seems to just be getting started. Plus, North Korea fires another missile, what the test could mean for the future of their nuclear weapons program. And a domestic dispute turns tragic in Mississippi after a man allegedly kills 8 people during a shooting spree. Your Suncoast News starts right now.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us, everyone. You have a live look from downtown Sarasota this morning at Lemon and Main Avenue, where a Memorial Day parade will be held this morning. That parade starts at 10 o'clock this morning. Road closures do start, though, in about 30 minutes, so keep an eye out for that if you usually travel through that area. Thanks for joining us on this Memorial Day. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Ray Collins has the day off. Let's check in with meteorologist John Scalzi, who says it's going to be a hot one out there, so you're going to want to bring some water bottles and some sunscreen, right, John?
Yeah, both of those things are mandatory today. Absolutely. It's going to be very hot in the afternoon. Plus, we're starting to talk now about feels-like temperatures because, you know, we're heading into the summer season and there's a lot more humidity around. And with all that together, it means that the feels-like temperature this afternoon will be pretty close to the 100-degree mark. Now, we're not issuing heat advisories quite yet, but still, it's enough that I think some folks, especially those who might be dressing in uniforms today, might really experience a very, very warm afternoon. So stay hydrated. Also, the UV index, particularly at the beach, is going to be high today. And it doesn't take long, 10 minutes or less, before you can feel the damaging effects of the sun. So SPF 50 or better sunscreen and keep it lathered on. We're looking at quiet conditions across Titan radar right now. Not much in the way of any kind of rain falling. We're not going to see rain today. May see a little bit of high cloudiness because of storms back to the west in the western Gulf. Those showers and thunderstorms not headed this way. We stay very dry. We have a high fire danger in many locations, so be careful with flame today, and expect a daytime high near the 90-degree mark. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Let's take a look at Suncoast traffic this morning. State Road 70 heading towards I-75, seeing a little bit of slowdowns. Also looks like 301 as you're heading into downtown Bradenton. As we head south into Sarasota County, some congestion off Clark Road as you head towards 41 and Bee Ridge. Of course, that ongoing construction project throughout that area. I-75 looking clear as we head into South County. Pretty quiet on 529 on your Memorial Day Monday. Topping our national news this half hour, President Trump will honor the Memorial Day holiday by laying a wreath at Arlington National Cemetery today. The president returned to Washington over the weekend from his first foreign trip while the investigation into Russia continues. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest from our nation's capital.
Trump White House overhaul on the heels of his first foreign trip as president.
I think we hit a home run.
President Trump back home considering a staff shakeup in the wake of the Russia investigation hitting close to the Oval Office and his family. The private attorney, one of many Trump hired to handle the Russia investigation, seen talking with Ivanka Trump at the White House. Her husband, presidential advisor Jared Kushner, under scrutiny, but not the target of the FBI investigation. Sources say Kushner tried to set up a secret back channel with the Russian ambassador to the U.S., even after intelligence agencies found Russia tried to meddle in the election.
There ought to be a review of his security clearance to find out whether he was truthful, whether he was candid. If not, then there's no way he can maintain that kind of a clearance.
A frustrated president tweeted Sunday, calling leaks coming out of the White House fabricated lies made up by the fake news media. Trump also spoke with the New York Times, reportedly saying, quote, "Jared is doing a great job for the country. I have total confidence in him."
Look, I think Jared has said that he's more than willing to answer any and all questions.
Trump's focus, his overseas trip, calling it a great success for America. But fresh from the G7 summit, German Chancellor Angela Merkel expressed doubts about the U.S. and the U.K.,
indem wir uns auf andere,
telling her country the times when we could completely count on others are over. The chancellor's remarks came after President Trump criticized Germany's trade policies at the G7. This week expected to be a crucial one for the White House as the president works to control the West Wing crisis over Russia. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, French leader Emmanuel Macron says his handshake with President Trump this past week was meant to send a message. They shook hands ahead of a NATO summit in Brussels, Belgium on Thursday, but things started looking odd as their knuckles started to turn white. It seemed at one point that Trump wanted to pull his hands back, but Macron was still holding on to it. He is now telling a French newspaper that he wanted to show he would not concede anything to Trump. But the French president also says he can still maintain a cordial relationship with the U.S. leader. The U.S. military says North Korea has fired another short-range ballistic missile. According to South Korean defense officials, the launch happened on the southeastern coast of North Korea. The U.S. Pacific Command says that missile flew for 6 minutes before landing in the waters off Japan in the country's economic zone. North Korea has increased its missile testing over recent months as it seeks to build nuclear-tipped missiles that can reach the U.S. And a ban on laptops and carry-ons aboard international flights could soon be expanded. Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly says he's considering banning laptops from the passenger cabins of all international flights to and from the United States. Laptops are currently banned on about 50 flights a day from 10 different cities, mainly in the Middle East. The ban prevents travelers from bringing laptops, tablets, and other specific devices on board with them in their carry-on bags. All electronics bigger than a smartphone must be checked in. An update this morning on last Monday's Manchester terror attack that left 22 dead and dozens injured. 2 more people have been arrested in connection with that suicide bombing. The suspects are a 19-year-old and a 25-year-old who were detained during police raids on Sunday. Police say both men are held on suspicion of violating the British Terrorism Act. Investigators are concerned that some of the people who helped the suicide bomber, Salman Abedi, could still be at large, and police are currently holding 13 people in custody, including the suspects arrested on Sunday. Meanwhile, 2 other people who were previously detained were released without charge. What started as a domestic dispute ended in tragedy in Mississippi after a man allegedly went on a shooting spree, killing at least 8 people. 35-year-old Willie Godbolt is now under arrest in connection to that crime. The victims included 3 women related to Godbolt's wife and a deputy who responded to the scene. 2 boys were also found dead at another home, while a man and woman were killed in a third home. It's unclear what connection they had to the shooter, but while in custody, Godbolt was recorded on camera saying he kept shooting until he ran out of bullets and he wanted to die.
Suicide by cop was my intention. I ain't fit to live, not after what I done, not in y'all eyes and not in nobody else's eyes, but God, you know, He forgives you for everything.
The deputy has been identified as 36-year-old William Durr, a 2-year veteran of the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. The names of the other 7 victims have not yet been released. That shooting remains under investigation. A teenage girl is speaking out after being targeted by hate speech before a deadly train stabbing in Portland. Police say a man yelled anti-Muslim slurs at 16-year-old Destiny Mangum and her friend and then stabbed to death 2 other men who tried to help them. Mangum says she got on the train with her friend, a 17-year-old girl who is Muslim. She says she owes everything to the 2 men that died and their now grieving families.
Thank you to the people who put their life on the line for me because they didn't even know me. And they lost their lives because of me and my friend and the way we look.
Mangum says she is not Muslim herself, but her friend is. The suspect, Jeremy Christian, is facing aggravated murder charges. Police say he also stabbed a 3rd person in the incident who is still in the hospital this morning. 5:35 on this Monday morning, a U.S. Navy SEAL was killed on Sunday when his parachute malfunctioned during a Fleet Week event at Liberty State Park in New Jersey. Stacey Sager has that story.
Videos like this one on social media show the precision and skill of the Navy leapfrogs. And in the moments before today's tragedy, tourists were snapping these photos when things appeared to be going just fine, until one Navy SEAL's parachute malfunctioned. And while spectators were meeting and greeting members of the Navy here on the ground as part of Fleet Week, the unthinkable was happening here on the water. The parachutist hit the Morris Canal after he cut away from his broken chute. And across on the other side of the water, a resident in a high-rise on Hudson Street, horrified as he took these pictures of the unmanned chute falling down to the ground, where police immediately had the area blocked off until they could remove it.
I was looking and I was kind of all excited to see these guys parachuting down, and then obviously all of a sudden it just kind of tumbled out of control. It was crazy.
Immediately a rescue operation began on the water as State Police and Coast Guard were on hand for the event. But things became even more confusing as the planned activities continued on like nothing happened, including this Coast Guard rescue, which was purely a demonstration, not related to the actual incident. The result? Confusion from the shoreline to the water, where spectators weren't sure what was happening.
So they asked everybody to not take pictures. And so we could see something serious was going on, but we couldn't tell what it was.
Yeah, it looked like something was horribly wrong, yeah.
Military officials said they have notified the service member's family. Fleet Week New York is an annual celebration of the nation's sea services. A teenager from Tampa has died after jumping off a rock ledge of a popular Marion County swimming hole. Fire rescue officials received a call about a possible drowning near Hard Rock Cycle Park. A 911 caller said a group of friends were swimming and one of the swimmers did not resurface. The body of 18-year-old Zachary Newton was found in the water 3 hours later. The park owner said no one is supposed to be swimming there because overgrown weeds make it dangerous. The owner also says the teens had trespassed onto the property and there were signs posted saying no swimming or fishing. 2 police officers are in the hospital this morning after being involved in a head-on collision in Miami-Dade County. Police say the officers were hit by a suspected drunk driver going the wrong way. Both drivers became trapped in their cars after the incident. It took crews nearly an hour to get them out, but officers and the other driver were all taken to the hospital with various injuries but are in stable condition this morning. Officials with the Drug Enforcement Administration say traffickers are bringing more cocaine into South Florida now than at any other time in the past decade. Customs and Border Protection officials in Florida say they confiscated 61% more cocaine last year than the year previous. That amounts to nearly 10,000 pounds of cocaine. According to the DEA, 90% of the cocaine seized in the U.S. can be traced back to Colombia. That South American country has tripled its cocaine production in the past few years. A home in Sarasota in need of repairs this morning after a truck drove through its walls Sunday afternoon. It happened in the 2800 block of Oak Street near Tuttle Avenue. Police say the driver swerved to avoid hitting a dog, lost control and slammed through the house's window into the living room. The driver was not injured and no one was in the house at the time of that accident. The music world continues to mourn the death of a rock legend, Greg Allman. Founding member of the Allman Brothers Band died in his Georgia home Saturday at the age of 69. While Allman was an icon of Southern rock, many could see him roaming the sidewalks of Anna Maria Island as a resident for several years. He performed sold-out shows here at the Van Wezel, the Sailor Circus Arena, and put the annual Sarasota Blues Fest on the map. Allman lived in Anna Maria Island in the early 70s, and residents would see him at old spots like the Orr House in Bradenton Beach and High Seas Restaurant on the Palmasola Causeway. And still this morning, bandmates and family members in the area are mourning Allman's death, including bandmate Dickie Betts and the son of bass player Barry Oakley, who also passed away. A local entertainment producer who knew Greg Allman personally says his legacy can still be seen and heard around the Suncoast.
If you go out and hear any of the local music, and there's such great local music in this town, every band, I would imagine, would say the Allman Brothers had some kind of influence on them.
Another music legend sharing their heartbreak on Twitter, his ex-wife, Cher, simply writing, "I've tried, words are impossible." Certainly a sad situation. There are lots of people here on the Suncoast that knew him.
Yeah, sure.
Did you ever get to see him at any of the performances, the Van Wezel, anything like that?
Way back in the day, I saw him perform live. Yeah,
okay.
in the 70s in St. Petersburg. Quite a show. I mean, the band was in a great band. Really
Wow.
changed the face of rock and roll with its Southern blues style. It's amazing.
Definitely.
And I spent a lot of time on the road listening to the tapes as well.
Right.
Back in the day. Some very warm weather headed our way this afternoon. We'll talk about that in a minute.
All right, still ahead, the end of May is a peak time for allergies. So how can you help reduce the amount of pollen getting into your home? We'll have that story for you coming up.
With a top prize of $10 million, the new $10 million world-class cash scratch-off from the Florida Lottery is your ticket to take on the world.
If you get knocked down, stand up again. Rip it up again. Give me one chance, I'm gonna make it. Give me my chance, this is my chance, I'm gonna take it.
The new $10 million world-class cash scratch-off from the Florida Lottery. One of our life-changing scratch-offs offering billions in cash prizes.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion?
Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at an air temperature that comes in at 75 degrees and a dew point at 71, an indication that we're already on the road to a very warm, steamy afternoon. Not much in the way of a rain chance today as a big ridge of high pressure sits almost over us. It's located just back to the west, and consequently we get this north-northwest wind coming in light right now at about 5. That's nice. That will keep our humidity, our dew point, a little bit lower than we will see over the next several days. Over the next several days, we'll watch that dew point value rise and the humidity in the afternoon rise. It's still going to be kind of humid in the afternoon, but not as bad as it will be by, say, Wednesday. Looking at temperatures that are 73 degrees in Wauchula, 75 in Arcadia, 75 in Mayaca, 79 Longboat Key, Sarasota coming in at 75, 77 in Venice and Inglewood, 75 degrees in Bradenton. Not much in the way of any kind of radar echoes across the area here. We're looking at a rain-free day today, actually. We'll look at the state of Florida and see just about the same thing, actually, except way back to the west in the Panhandle might see an isolated shower or two there start to build. A lot of rain shower activity located from, really anywhere from the Carolinas all the way back toward Texas. There's a frontal boundary that's kind of meandering and stalled out mostly through areas of the deep south. And that frontal boundary has a little area of low pressure riding along it. It lifts off to the north and to the east. And what it will eventually do, I think, is cause our high pressure ridge to be nudged out into the Atlantic. Once our high pressure ridge is pushed out into the Atlantic, we'll start to see a wind shift. Instead of winds coming out of the northwest, they'll start coming out of the southeast. And with that southeast wind, we start to increase our humidity by midweek. Plus, it gives us kind of a collision zone for our sea breeze front, which will help to bring about a shower or two a little bit later in the week. Sunny and hot today, dry for several days, and calmer winds around today than we'll see as we head into the next few days. The thunderstorm risk does really not exist across the state today, which is great. There's going to be lots of people at the beaches. We don't want thunderstorms around. To the north of us, there will be some showers and thunderstorms, and especially around the Atlanta area, stretching through areas of the Carolinas. Now, that's not so great for traveling. If you're traveling today, the airport hubs of Atlanta, Charlotte, Raleigh, Durham, all might be under the gun for a few scattered showers and thunderstorms today, maybe even some severe weather a little bit later on. As far as the future rainfall forecast goes, things are going to be very quiet. Expect to see a lot of blue sky and not much in the way of rainfall for today or tomorrow. Maybe by Wednesday, we start to pick up a chance at a few scattered showers. The fire danger remains high, particularly in Manatee County, Hardee, DeSoto, and Charlotte counties. Watch outdoor flame. The forecast calls for pretty nice conditions. Warm, hot, high UV indexes today. And then chances of rain start working into the forecast by midweek. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Let's take a look at Suncoast traffic this morning. Looks like State Road 70 heading east and westbound, seeing an increase in traffic, a little bit of slowdown there. Other than that, Manatee County looking pretty good as we head into Sarasota County. A little bit of congestion on Bee Ridge Road as you head towards the interstate. As we head into South County, pretty quiet throughout that area. No accidents across the Suncoast at 5:48 on your Monday morning. The end of May is a peak time for allergy symptoms to appear because it's often the time of year when tree and grass pollen seasons collide. Parents who suspect their child may have allergies should have them tested. Like any allergies, doctors say the #1 treatment is avoidance, but that's not always a great choice for active children. There are some measures, though, parents can take to help reduce the amount of pollen that enters your home.
One is if they come in from playing outside, you can have them take a shower before they go to bed. That probably decreases the pollen levels that are getting inside their bedroom and their beds. You can keep your bedroom windows shut, or at least all the windows in the house shut, especially if you have the luxury of a central air conditioning system.
Parents can also try having their child wear sunglasses while outdoors. It can help decrease the amount of pollen that blows into their eyes, which can help decrease redness and itching. Well, you might think that you're prepared for that Memorial Day cookout, but health officials say there's an important thing you may be forgetting: how to stay safe from nasty foodborne illness. With more, here's ABC's news correspondent, Lana Zach.
For millions of Americans, the summer grilling season starts with burgers and wings on Memorial Day. But along with the joys of cooking outside during the warm summer months comes the threat of foodborne illnesses. And the problem is bigger than you might think. According to the CDC, food-linked infections sicken 48 million Americans each year, sending 128,000 to the hospital and leading to 3,000 deaths. And when cooking outside over a flame, it's sometimes easy to fall victim. Fortunately, the USDA has some tips to keep that meal safe for you and your family. Use a meat thermometer to make sure meat and chicken are cooked to a safe internal temperature. Keep hands and surfaces clean, especially if preparing raw meat and poultry. And keep cooked food separate, making sure not to reuse surfaces that held raw food. Simple steps to help keep this holiday weekend healthy and safe. With this Medical Minute, I'm Lana Zach.
Well, still ahead, we'll tell you about a Wisconsin vending machine with some interesting choices inside. That story when we come back.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who has taken Xarelto or Pradaxa. If you or a loved one took the blood thinner medication Xarelto or Pradaxa and was then hospitalized for internal bleeding, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to serious, even fatal internal bleeding. If you suffered a stroke, heart attack, or serious internal bleeding, or if a loved one died after taking Xarelto or Pradaxa, call us now. Our network of attorneys have years of experience fighting the big pharmaceutical companies and is ready to fight for you. Potential claims are being reviewed for users of Xarelto or Pradaxa who have suffered severe bleeding or hemorrhaging, stroke, or even death. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You won't pay a thing unless your case is settled. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone.
Please call 800-928-6604. That is 800-928-6604.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call and price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables and still costs up to 50% less, featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest to support your head, neck, and shoulders, bedside power plugs, under-bed night lights, and more. So call and price one today for less, up to 50% less than Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You gotta see how little they cost.
Call 1-800-774-8103. That's 1-800-774-8103. Call now.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
I'm Alan Cohn. Siesta Key on MTV. The show follows elite college students spending their summer on the sands, but what do locals think about being in the limelight?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back, 5:54 on this Monday morning. Today is Memorial Day. We do have a live look from downtown Sarasota at Lemon and Main Street, where that Memorial Day parade will be held this morning. That starts at 10 o'clock this morning, but just in about 6 minutes, road closures will start happening throughout downtown Sarasota, so keep an eye out for that if you are heading through that area. But it should be a good day to get outdoors and check out the Memorial Day Parade. Well, here are some of the top local stories we're following for you this Memorial Day morning. It is Memorial Day, and there are plenty of events to go out and honor our veterans today. There will be a special tribute in downtown Sarasota during the annual Memorial Day Parade, marking the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Midway. The parade starts at 10 a.m. and goes from Osprey Avenue to Main Street, where there will be a ceremony at 11. Plus, a truck drives into a home in Sarasota over the weekend. Police say the driver swerved to avoid hitting a dog, lost control, and slammed through the house window into the living room. Fortunately, no one was hurt. And the music world continues to mourn the death of a rock legend. Greg Allman, founding member of the Allman Brothers Band, died in his Georgia home. While Allman was an icon of Southern rock, many could see him roaming the sidewalks of Anna Maria Island as a resident for several years. He was just 69 years old. Take a look at this. A Wisconsin butcher is upping the ante when it comes to customer service. RJ's Meats is now selling its bacon, brats, and other cuts of meat when the store isn't even open. The owner has installed a vending machine for meat. It's the first of its kind in the U.S. and already a popular product in Europe. The price for the vending machine product is the same as inside the store, and there's also a heater inside for the machine for those sub-zero winter days. And certainly something people here could be using today on Memorial Day.
That's pretty smart. Yeah.
Interesting.
Extend your hours. No more hourly wages for employees having to stay later. That's great.
There you go. Yeah. All right, stay with us. More news and weather when we come back.